And then as Judith and Beth had talked about, we're also at the beginning of a whole new phase of what we're going to be doing with the U.S. Green Building Council. And I want to share with you one moment a program that we're doing because it's going to feed into what's happening with the schools. Nationally, there's a program called Advance that we are looking to do. There are 50 Advance ambassadors that are throughout the U.S., and we actually have 2 of them here in Georgia. And actually, I guess I'm kind of an Advance-ish ambassador. And what they're looking at is there has been the idea that LEED is done in these very expensive, rich places, but we also know that there are other people who need to have healthy, sustainable places, and especially schools is a very important place to do this. And so it's a huge focus that what we want to do is not every building is going to be LEED, but we want to help you be as sustainable as you possibly can and go on that journey. And as you guys know, that with sustainability, there is no end to it. We always try to do something better. As you guys are teaching your kids of how to do things better, that's what our sustainability journey is. So in doing that, we've kind of broken it out into phases with it. And we have START, which is just getting started. Big first step in doing sustainability. As many of you know, and we have a lot of awards here for doing the Green Apple Day of Service. We consider that getting started. Doing a one-day simple project, thinking about sustainability and what you're going to continue to do. The next step we have is doing plan, and that is when we start, some of the schools here have chosen to get involved with the Green Your School. Looking at a project, it's a long-term relationship. So our schools that are with the plan phase are beginning to do a Green Your School project. And then focus is when you get into it a little bit more, you've figured out what you need to do, you've got your eyes set on accomplishing a goal, and you're heading in that direction. And then we have LEAD, and that is our achieving a goal. With USGBC, we really love that LEAD, L-E-E-D, but we know that you can L-E-A-D in many different ways. And it's not necessarily just that LEED plaque, but also achieving a Princeton review for your colleges, being recognized as a green ribbon school nationally, and there's all sorts of ways that you can be recognized. And we are here today to honor all of those people who have worked very hard to be recognized. And we're very proud of everything you've done, and we want to shout it from the mountaintops so that everybody knows how sustainable our schools are in Georgia and how hard you're working, and we appreciate your efforts. So, along with that effort, I'm going to start. Do you want to go ahead and do it?
Let's start with the awards.
Actually, we have it. Let's write it off.
We're shuffling our schedule now to accommodate newcomers, so bear with us for a moment.
It's a little advertisement here for 1 second, and then we find out why all these guys are showing up in a minute. One more slide. Oops, one more. Sorry. One more forward. Okay. So these are the schools that participated in doing the Green Your School, Green Apple Day of Service, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them. So what I want to do, the way that we accomplished a lot of these, I put a little challenge out to a few school districts, and we had one who stood up to the challenge with it. I'd like to ask Clark County School District to come up. We have several different representatives from Clark County School District, so if you are here representing Clark County School District, please come up. because we want to thank the Clark County School District. We asked them to take the challenge to see if they could get every school in their district to do a Green Apple Day of Service project. And they said, yep, we'll do that. And they did. So if you guys are getting ideas around here, I'd be happy to talk to any other school district, especially if you're a little larger than Clark County. I know they want to hold on to their image here, but we would love to see them continue. The projects that were done, if you don't know, Clark County has an awesome partnership with the University of Georgia. I'm sorry, I'm from Florida. I have to make sure I get my universities correct here. They have a great partnership with UGA, and there is a garden in every single school there. They utilize them well. I am just amazed at the things that they are doing in their schools and some of the partnerships that they have. With the materials reuse program, is also working to build gardens there and using it as an education opportunity with the school. They've also done some energy improvement savings with their schools, and they've done partnerships with the School Garden Network, who also looks over their gardens during the summer, which has made them very successful with that. They've also done improvements on their athletic fields, and we're going through the slides as far as looking to see what some of the ideas with what they have done. Green cleaning. Oh yeah, thank you. Perfect. Now, actually, one of their other great accolades. They were recognized this year nationally for the Green Cleaning Award. And it was really great to see what's happening and how they're the grand prize for school districts doing green cleaning. So if you have any questions about green cleaning, you can talk to Clark County. So, also in that area, and one of their other partners we have, in Oglethorpe County, and do we have Chris McDowell?
He's not here.
He's not here, okay. Chris McDowell, who has worked with them, has gone not only doing things in Clark County, but has ventured beyond that to Oglethorpe County Middle School. And we also have the Art Institute of Atlanta. And the Art Institute of Atlanta was joining us in doing Green Apple Day of Service projects and making sure that the cleaning up their, as we know with interior designers, having nice big areas of materials to make sure that they were properly recycled and contributing to the community. And do we have anybody from Bolton Academy? Munch Middle School? We also have a volunteer with Bunch Middle School. Stacy, please come up. So, they definitely recognize our volunteers with this too. So also if anybody's thinking about it, and we're also looking at ways, our volunteers have had such a great time in the schools. And Stacy went out and talked to them about the recycling and helping them get their program going. And there's definitely more volunteers who are interested in going out to the schools and talking and working with your students. And this is a great way to get them involved. Chamblee Middle School. Easter Seals of North Georgia. And Easter Seals of North Georgia is one of our younger recipients, younger clientele.
I was going to say I'm not that young.
They also embraced using some of our sponsors to help out in Sustainable Investment Group. Spent some time reading to the kids about recycling and helping them understand. And while they were there, also helped out with some of their meters that were not working really well. So they got them fixed up. And I'm sure there's lots of our sponsors and vendors who would love to come help out with your schools. Garrison School of Visual and Performing Arts. Do you have Tommy? LaGrange Academy. LaGrange Academy was working with a campus cleanup and garden program, and you have partnered with Interface in the past. You're still working with Interface. Yeah. Your neighbor. Big neighbor. Marist School. Marist School did a creek cleanup, and they installed a bug hotel and completed riparian work around Nancy Creek. I had the great honor of going and being a judge at their school for the projects, and it was amazing to see these kids put together a sustainability project on their property and trying to figure out what to do, and they have to do the budget, and then they have to present it to the head of the school. And it's just very professional presentation they did. I was thoroughly impressed with all the terminology these kids were working with. And Mercer University. Visit Pangani. Mercer. Can you get a picture? Yeah. We have with Mercer University. They have they were working very hard with their Making Campus, doing a project for the entire week, and they had Be a Good Neighbor week, and did various projects, collecting the waste and also weighing it was the important part with it, and also did collections of waste at their football games, and working with the community with it, and also doing a, there was an Earth Day fair that they were at. It really helped out. And so we're looking at expanding it also to the Atlanta campus with Mercer. Vineville Academy of Arts. Vineville? Do we have representatives that can take it to Vineville?
I think we do.
Brenda Stokes. Thank you very much. So the Vineville Academy, it's in Macon, has worked very hard. They were collecting the aluminum tabs as a fundraiser, and also reducing the waste. They were doing gardens using tires that they called Not Too Tired for vegetables, and also VeggieTale gardens, and they're doing school landscape and doing campus cleanup. Wesley International Academy. Wesley International Academy took on an amazing project. I got the pleasure of going out there on their work day, which was a misty day. And I was amazed with the partners that they brought in, and we'll also recognize some of the partners that we have here. It seemed like it was a huge pile of mulch that they needed to set up to do their outdoor classroom, and they got it done lickety-split, and nobody caught a cold with it. It was great to see with Sky Promotions and 2M Consulting helped out with advertising and getting the network out, and it was just amazing to see all of the wonderful partners that came out for this. And so we are going to switch our schedule around a little bit again, and we're going to have Beth that's going to talk to you about with our legislators who have helped us out tremendously.
So when it's session, no one's time is their own. So thank you everyone for being patient with us. But I do want to acknowledge a few of our legislators who are here today, and also we have a couple of proclamations. So I wanted to recognize Representative Beth Beskin. She represents the Buckhead area here in Atlanta. I also want to recognize Representative Margaret Kaiser. She's representative from 59th District. She actually went to DC and did a program for U.S. Green Building Council, so she has a bit of a history. So we have a couple of proclamations, and I am looking for Senator Nan Orrock. Oh, there you are.
I'm sitting right where you
I know. This is following direction. Who am I to tell Nan Orrock where to sit? But that's nice. So Senator Nan Orrock from the 36th District, she's actually my senator. I live in Old Fourth Ward, and she represents Old Fourth Ward and Ormond Park and some of the neighborhoods around there. She has an extraordinary record in advocating for her district and for Georgia families. She has passed landmark legislation for women's health and the environment. And I'm honored to introduce her and proud that she's my state senator. So please welcome Senator Nan Orrock.
Well, Beth, thank you very much for your warm introduction. I'm privileged to represent you, to have you as a constituent, and I was so happy to see that you were on board with this effort in the staff role, so congratulations. Yes, very happy. I got that news last week. I have been so impressed with the efforts and the progress, and it's just so heartening to get this opportunity annually to see schools and school leadership and volunteers, parents and staff and school board members who all come together to make a difference in these schools, embracing the agenda of the Green Building Council. And I would say to you, I'm in the National Caucus of Environmental Legislators. That's a wonderful national network of legislators who advocate and work with many environmental groups and who work for pro-environment policy on the state level, and have had the benefit of having presentations by top leadership from this organization at our national meetings. So I value the guidance and leadership, the progress that's being made by the Green Building Council, and happy to bring you this resolution today. It's really a privilege to be asked to do this, isn't it, Margaret? And this recognizes February the 3rd as High Performance Healthy Schools Day at our state capitol, and states that a healthy and safe environment is important for school children and school staff. These are things that you're no stranger to. You know these things. The protection of the indoor and outdoor environment where school children live, learn, and play is a critical component of a child's education, where children on average spend approximately 30 to 50 hours per week in school. And whereas new or renovated healthy and high-performance schools designed to improve indoor air and environmental quality can also reduce energy and maintenance costs, and thus provide a healthier and safe learning environment for all children through cleaner air, improved lighting, and reduced exposure to toxic substances, leading to improved attendance, academic achievement, and well-being. And I'll say one more, whereas our schools are the building blocks of our community, our children, and our future. Amen to that? The Senate resolves that the members of this body commend the efforts of the U.S. Green Building Council, Georgia chapter, in making schools everywhere healthier for students and teachers, and recognize February 3rd as High Performance Healthy Schools Day at the Capitol. My pleasure to welcome you here today and to appreciate you for the work and efforts that you do year-round. This is one day to recognize those efforts, but you all are in the trenches bringing innovation and an entrepreneurial spirit and a volunteer spirit and transforming schools and communities and the lives of children. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you, Senator Orrock. I'm also extremely honored to introduce Representative Ron Mayo, who represents House District 84 in DeKalb County. Representative Mayo is passionate about educating students on life skills and their legal rights through a youth development initiative. He is a strong supporter of making sure that students absolutely have all of the resources they need to make it moving on in life. The other great thing about Representative Ron Mayo is that he actually sits on our committee, and he's one of us. So we're so excited to have his leadership. We're excited that he gets to be here with students because we know that's where his heart is. So I'd like for us all to welcome Representative Ron Mayo.
Good afternoon. And I'd like to invite my colleague Margaret Kaiser to join me as we present this resolution on behalf of the Georgia House in recognition of February 3rd, 2016 as High Performance Healthy Schools Day at the Capitol. And before we read the resolution, I just want to share with you that we both really appreciate your work, which is why we brought this resolution, and recognize your accomplishments, students, administrators, community leaders, volunteers. I had a moment with young Zoe from Marietta High School, and she shared with me her project, which is displayed in the back. It's recycling aluminum in resource-scarce regions. And it came to me at that moment that this is not a Georgia issue, this is not an issue facing the United States, but this is where we, as one globe, the people on this earth share an earth, and we have a responsibility to protect it. And the environment is something that we can all join hands and we have in common. And I'd just like to thank you all and recognize your achievements and say to you that you should continue this work, and what you do is going to change this world and make it a better place. So with that, we would like to recognize February 3rd as High Performance Healthy Schools Day at the Capitol. Whereas a healthy and safe environment is important for school children and staff, the protection of the indoor and outdoor environment where school children live, learn, and play is a critical component of a child's education. Children on average spend approximately 30 to 50 hours in school, and children are more vulnerable to environmental hazards. They proportionally breathe more air, drink more fluids, and eat more food than adults, and their developing systems and behaviors contribute to their increased vulnerability. The Georgia chapter of the United States Green Building Council has a program to recognize schools for their contributions to a healthy environment, including the Green Apple Day of Service, the Green Your Schools competition, and the High Performance Healthy Schools Toolbox. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the members of our body commend the efforts of the United States Green Building Council Georgia chapter in making schools everywhere healthier for students and teachers, and recognize February 3rd, 2016 as High Performance Healthy Schools Day at the Capitol. Thank you very much.
So another round of applause, please, for Senator Representative Ron Mayo, and also Representative Margaret Kaiser. So we are going to go ahead and continue with the awards program for the schools. Suzanne, would you like to come? Partners? Pardon? I'll do the partners. So we're going to continue the program with our partners. I'm really happy to be able to present these awards. A lot of these folks I haven't met yet, so why not have a baptism by fire and just start our relationship by giving awards. I think that's fantastic. So our first recipient today is 2M Design Consultants Incorporated. Do we have a representative? Oh wow, you get 2 awards today. So we want to thank them for funding and developing the Wesley International Outdoor Classroom. Okay, next, Captain Planet with the representative from Captain Planet Foundation. Please come up. Oh, there we are. We give our thanks also to Captain Planet Foundation for their work on Project Learning Gardens program in Cobb, DeKalb, Fulton, and Gwinnett counties. Welcome. Okay, next, Clean Air Campaign. Do we have someone from the Clean Air Campaign? Oh, here we go. So we would like to thank them for providing resources for schools, No Idling campaign, Get There Green, Young Lungs at Work, Art Challenges, and more. All right. Up next, we have Georgia Department of Education. This is for coordinating and managing Green Ribbon Schools program for Georgia. We would also like to welcome Interface to the stage or to the podium. Do we have a representative from Interface with us today? Okay, we will get them their award later. Life Cycle Building Center. This is for donating recycled materials to schools, East Paulding High School and also SAE School. Okay, Shaw Contract Group. This is for being a national sponsor of the Green Apple Day of Service. And Sustainable Investment Group, please come to the stage. This is for Easter Seals of North Georgia Project, Recycling and Energy Audit. And now a representative from the Turner Foundation, please. We will make sure that they receive their award later. It is for funding High Performance Healthy Schools program. Thank you to the Turner Foundation. And that is it for our partners. And welcome Suzanne back tonight.
And so that we stop going back and forth with it. We're going to have Marietta High School come up here for a moment and tell you about their fabulous project that they're doing. As we talked about that reach beyond our community, it's amazing what these high school students are doing and making an impact in Haiti.
We are not only from Marietta High School, but also Marietta Middle School, Park Street Elementary, and Hickory Hills Elementary. I want to just give you a kind of a context for this project. It's a part of a larger program, the Engineering Pipeline. Next slide. And so what we're trying to do is everybody's talking about the STEM issues, but it's a very large systemic issue. And so we're trying to bridge the gap from elementary to middle to high school to post-secondary and to industry. And so at each level, we're trying to do something that will encourage them to go to the next level. We also have a focus on soft skills and leadership skills. And these are some of the things that we have done as a part of this program. And then the next slide. And so these are some of our partners. And when I say partners, these are people that we see weekly. We have 2 professors from Southern Poly that comes over, 4 students from Southern Poly, ASCE on a regular basis. Next slide. This is our advisory board that represents the community and parents, engineering, architecture, K-12, post-secondary, as well as business and industry. And so the idea behind the Haiti Container Project that helps us to hang all of this on it's a multi-year project. We presented last year, which was our first year. It's a real-world project, and it integrates STEM, science and math, in both from elementary to post-secondary. So what the students are doing is they are researching, designing, building, and testing, and transferring these sustainable technologies to Haiti. Next slide will show you an image. We have a partner in Haiti that has allocated 100 acres. This is a 5-acre site. It will have 4 classrooms. It will have a classroom and a workshop, a large public space, a greenhouse, aquaponics, experimental gardens, an artisan shed, a recycling center, and a playground area. It's completely off the grid, generating its own electricity, capturing its own water, as well as growing food. In the next slide. So what we wanted to do was to actually, if we're actually going to take this to the next level, is to have something here on site. And so that's what we're looking at here. And it's really 3 things we're looking at getting out of this. Providing this integrated STEM learning experience where kids actually integrate this all together at a deep level, and also an on-site developmental lab. We call it the EARLS Lab, the Engineering and Architecture Research Laboratory for Sustainability. And this is what this is. So now I'm going to ask 2 high school students, Barbara Cantu and Mateen, to come and share about the EARLS Lab.
Okay, well, I'm Barbara Cantu, and I got the architecture part of this. As you can see in top, we'll have classrooms, and the bottom area will have a workshop, and we have 2 greenhouses that will be connected to the aquaponics, which is a pond right here. We'll, depending on the season, we'll be trying to grow fish. We'll have a little sitting area, and we'll try to grow as much fruits, herb things. And we have a swing set, which we'll try to make energy out of it. And yeah.
Hello, I'm Mateen. I mainly deal with the electronics and the energy part of the project. For us, we want to build a fully self-sustainable project dealing with deep cycle batteries, solar systems, and movement-based motors, so like using the alternator of a car to generate electricity, like she said with the swing set. You know, these small little things that we could implement throughout the project that can power, you know, low voltage devices like Raspberry Pis, small Linux-based computers, you know, ARM-based processors, these types of things that we could implement in Haiti that will allow them to get in contact with internet without such large amounts of electricity being used. As we all know, computers do use a large amount of electricity. And with these new Raspberry Pis, it gives a greater opportunity to give these people in Haiti a chance of you going on the internet and using a computer for the first time.
And next we have an elementary. And by the way, Tomorrow we're meeting with the City of Marietta. McCarthy Builders is helping us to engineer and do the foundation and set the trailers. So we are really moving with this project in a real way. This is our elementary group. We have a group from Park Street and Hickory Hills.
This is my friend Jasmine from Park Street Elementary School. We have a STEM club, and that's how we tie into the engineering pipeline. This is our first year, so we're starting from the ground up, and Jasmine is going to tell you about 2 of the projects. One of them we have already begun. The other will start next week.
First, I'm going to talk about aquaponics. We are building a home for fishes because the fish's poop have nutrients for the water. So the poop's nutrients gives it to the water, and the water gives the nutrients to our vegetables so we can have a good vegetables. One of our other projects is composting. We are going to be using scraps from the cafeteria to make soil so that soil can help grow our foods, vegetables, and herbs in our Park Street garden.
My name is Gabriel Poche. I'm in the 5th grade and I'm here with my teacher, Miss Horsey.
We're from Hickory Hills Elementary School, and we're honored to be a part of this. We are also going to have an experimental site where we have
composting worms, worm composting, which is putting worms into a bin with biodegradable bedding and scraps, food scraps, and the worms will eat those scraps, and their waste will soon become nutrients for the dirt and soil.
And we'll also be doing aquaponics too.
Hi, my name is Shalisa Wiley, and I'm from Marietta Middle School. So what we're doing is building a working playground for the kids in Haiti, and so that playground will have a piezoelectric floor. So as kids move around on the floor and pressure is applied to the floor, the mechanical energy will be converted into electricity, which will generate power for the community center.
Hey, I'm Josh Guthrie, and I go to Marietta Middle School also. And we will be constructing our own aquaponic systems. Today we were researching the history on basic components, and later we will be actually building and constructing our aquaponic systems. And then these designs can then be later used down in Haiti.
Alright, so my project, you can see a big tri-board back there. I'm interested in recycling, specifically aluminum. Aluminum cans, aluminum scrap, things like that. So I wanted to create a foundry that could process 35 pounds of aluminum per hour. And that's about 1,200 cans an hour. So this is my basic design. I can see more detailed back there. But basically, it's a continuous process. It isn't a batch process. So I wanted to maximize safety, efficiency, while still keeping the sustainability aspect of this. So you can go to the next slide. So in my manufacturing, I wanted to use recycled parts and commonly found things. So people in Haiti, that we're looking at, and other people in resource-scarce regions and countries could replicate my design. So things like the crucible inside of it that's made out of a fire extinguisher. Anybody can go find a fire extinguisher, an empty one, use one, cut it up and use it in here. Using, for the refractory material, perlite and concrete. Perlite, if you don't know, is you can find in the gardening section. It's those little white pellet things you put in your soil. So I've been building it, mixing technology and traditional methods. You can kind of see in this picture. We have a plasma cutter at our school. So happy, so fun to, so fun to use it. So cutting, right there, it's cutting 1/4-inch stainless steel. So I can, you have some sample parts over there. So I can design on the computer, test it, thermal analysis, stress analysis before I actually build it. And before implementation, so I can say, yes, this works, and do all sorts of things with it. It's going to be fun.
So this wraps up the project. This is our second year, but we are just excited about what's been happening. Our goal is next year to not only have the 2 elementary, but to expand it to the rest of the elementary and the 6th grade academy within our school. And we believe this is a vehicle that will get kids excited, give them an opportunity to do some very rigorous, relevant, relational kind of work that will hopefully translate into them pursuing a career in this area. Thank you very much.
First time I've had to pull a microphone up. We're so glad to see what's happening with Marietta High School and following what's this journey that they're doing. And as I mentioned before, this is a journey, and we're so happy with everybody who has done the Green Apple Day of Service project. And now we want to recognize schools that have taken it a little bit further and who are doing a project starting with the Green Your School competition and planning a project. And a lot of these projects take a while. And we're finding out that, you know, it's not really quick. The original idea was that it was a 6-month-long project, and like, maybe we need to build a relationship and let's keep working on this. But we do have that beginning part of the relationship is planning out the projects that they're going to do. And we have some very dedicated volunteers who have been meeting with schools, and we have a couple of volunteers who have been meeting with several schools. I'd like to bring Andrea Burrows up. And Andrea has been meeting with 6 schools to help them with the recycling program. And those schools are Holy Redeemer Catholic Church in Alpharetta, North Atlanta High School, Springmont School, Sutton Middle School in Atlanta, and the Sutton Middle School 6th grade campus in Atlanta, and the Cottage School. And one of the great things, one of these vendors that is available to us, and the challenge that we keep having is that recycling costs money. And Andrea has a great program where they're making money off of their recycling and recycling textiles. So if you want to find out more about that, I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you.
We paid them.
Yes. You get paid for the recycling. You get money from the recycling that you get. So it's a great asset to them. Who's doing that? So if you guys want to, yeah. We'll do pressure up there. Sorry. And then one of our other volunteers with Johnston Elementary School, Jim Purdue, and Johnston Elementary School. And this was another one of our great projects of somebody wanting an idea to help out with the school, and Jen did a great presentation to the entire school, met with assemblies, and then challenged the students to try to make a difference with it. And they took a pledge on what they were going to do. One of our other extraordinary volunteers is Brandy Cochin Townsend. Did I get that right? Brandy has a few schools that she's been working with, and also working with the recycling So we're here from Alexander High School, Carl Scoggins Senior Middle School, Chapel Hill Elementary School in Douglasville, Holly Springs Elementary School in Douglasville, New Manchester High School in Douglasville. Please come up. And Brandy also did programs for these schools and talked about the importance of recycling, what to recycle, and then also they're measuring how much they recycle. We're looking forward to those numbers. With Centennial Academy. You are. We have a volunteer who's been helping out with Centennial Academy, and this is a great opportunity for you guys to think about it. Actually, Sandra works at Working Buildings with me, and also has a sister at Centennial Academy, so she kind of gets around getting together and gets a chance to work with Centennial Academy and work on their sustainability program.
And they apologize for not being here. They're doing some testing with the kids. Thank you.
The important part is working with